In some ways, I would say the Potters were whodunits. In fact, I think there are 6 whodunits and 1 why did it. So there was a mystery in all of the Potter books. I always wanted to write crime, and I think the biggest challenge, actually, in writing that kind of classic detective story is I've chosen to have someone who doesn't have the resources of police forensics and so on at their fingertips. So that can be a challenge. But it's a challenge I enjoy, and I obviously set up that situation. But I learned a huge amount writing the Potters. And I have dossiers on all of my characters. I know down to in fact, for this book, I even decided at what hour of the day Robin and Strike were born. So because of the astrology theme. But I do plot. I'm finding that the older I get, the more planning I do. For this book, for Troubled Blood, I think the table that set out all of the information that would appear in each chapter and what each suspect would say or do was planned out over, I think, about 10 pages, a 10-page long table, which was color-coded and very intricate. You don't want the effort to appear to the reader, you want it to flow. But I needed to know that I'd played. You need to play fair with the reader. You've got to make sure they had all the information there in front of them. You can't cheat them. And that takes some skill. But I really enjoy it. And it's such an interesting genre because you can dress it so many different ways. You know, you've got your central structure, you've got your dressmaker's dummy, but you can put any kind of dress on it. And that's what I love about the genre. I really, really love it. Nearly always, I start with how it was done. So I'm often asked, which is a reasonable question because I know other crime writers do this differently, do you know who did it when you start? And I always know who did it, and I always know how they did it. Yeah, with each of the strikes, I knew exactly how the crime was done before I started, and I really work outwards from there. So with Lethal White, I definitely started with this idea of the lethal white foal and really built outwards symbolically. And I knew that that plot would have to take us somewhere rural to get near actual horses. Actually, that led to a nice bit of character between Strike and Robin because he really does not like horses. And Robin obviously grew up in Yorkshire and had a fairly scrubby pony, but and that's one of the things that makes Strike think she's quite middle class and quite safe when he first meets her. She seems that kind of girl, though that's not really who she is at all. I did actually make one mistake that, thank God, the copy editor caught, which wasn't really central to the plot, but I had got something 4 years out, which is quite a long time. But she caught that, bless her. So that we were all good there. But with the crime and the dates and the times, I mean, I had to be really meticulous on this one. And that stuff actually does not come naturally to me. I can easily mistake days, weeks, and dates. I misdate letters all the time with the wrong year on them. I'm not proud of this, but I'm quite vague when it comes to things like this. So I was very, very meticulous. And as you'll know, because we've discussed the theme of the occult and astrology, that made things even more complex because I had to take account of shifting dates, star signs, and so on.